to say I'm really pleased to be here, and obviously I'm glad you're here. And before we start, I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm kind of crazy. So that's what got me through everything, got me through life. That's if I say something. So in the course of this, I say something you don't agree with. That's what it is. I'm just crazy. And I'm going to read some lines. I write lines, and some of them I use as lyrics, and some I use as poems, but to me I write lines. And it's just something that showed up in my life as a form of therapy, and I had enough sense to follow it. But I want to get into who we are, because identities and things, in my crazy, sometimes I feel like I'm in this dimensional reality where we don't know who we are anymore. And we don't understand the sounds, the language. We don't understand the sounds that we make. We don't know what our purpose is. And it's like lost. We don't know where we're going. Sometimes I feel like I'm in a dimensional reality where, it's almost like we're spiritually isolated from the past because we don't remember ancestrally the honor of our ancestors. We don't remember those ways anymore. And we're in this in-between where we're at now and the way things are going. It's like we don't spiritually connect to our ancestry, and we don't really spiritually connect to our descendants because we're allowing to happen to the life that is Earth and us. We're allowing it to happen. And this isn't about blame or anything. It's just what's happening. The children laugh. The old ones laugh. The newborn cry. The elders weep. The knowledge of infants and elders, separated only by years. Adulthood lost to grown-up fear. The only security being insecurity, changing crying to weeping. The wisdom of infants and elders, crying and laughing, weeping and laughing, songs in the beginning, sung in the end. Endure. The people cry out, tears of anger, tears of sorrow, flowing, giving birth to resistance, young ones to remember, struggle. For the people cry out, tears of happiness, tears of joy, washing the pain, cleaning the spirit, giving strength. The generations remembering the past to rebuild the future. For weeping is another way of laughing and resisting and outlasting the enemy. Now, so I try to participate. So my whole objective and goal in my life has evolved to the point of where I don't think we recognize we're human beings anymore. See, and that's what I want to be again. I want to be a human being. I entered into this reality as a human being. I entered into this reality as a human being. We all did, so I'm trying to find what that is again, because I think we don't remember anymore. And because we don't remember that we're human beings anymore, I think a lot of bad things are going on in our reality. But it's got to do because we don't remember that we're human beings anymore. And the reason that we don't remember that we're human beings anymore is because there's a predatory mindset out there that imprints into our consciousness, all right, a lot of misidentification and distortion. So we won't remember who we are. It's like, we're human beings. And our reality to power isn't being a human being. Being's temporary. I mean, being is just being. Being is. So we're beings, being human beings. The human part is temporary. And we're in a reality of the evolution of being. The evolution of being, the spirit, the essence, the evolution of being. This is really where we're at. But as human, our bone, flesh, and blood, our DNA, we are physically made up of the metals, minerals, and liquids of the earth. We are shapes of the earth. All things of the earth are made up of the same DNA. All things of the earth, whether it's a stone or a tree, we're all made up of the same thing. Now we have being, and our being comes from a relationship to the sun, sky, universe. I mean, literally, sunlight is the seed that brings life to the water-bearing womb that is the earth. So our relationship to reality is into the earth and the universe, the sky itself. Our being comes from this relationship. All things of the earth have being, because we're all made up of the same stuff. So all things of the earth have being. We're in a technologic perceptual reality where we know, I don't think we really understand it, but we know they can take the bone, flesh, and blood of the earth that is called uranium out of the earth and put it through a mining refinement process and convert its being into a form of energy to run a system. We know they can do it with fossils. They can take the fossils out of the earth and put it through this mining refinement process and convert its being into a form of energy to run a system. And I think that technologic, industrial civilization is a mining process that mines the being part of human, all right, by how it imprints and programs the human to perceive reality through its intentions, or to perceive reality. So they program us how to perceive reality as a way of mining our being and turning it into a form of energy to run a system. Now, when you mine fossils or the uranium and put it through this mining process, it leaves behind poison and toxic waste that's threatening the environment. When you mine the being part of human through how you imprint the human to perceive reality, that leaves behind poison and toxic waste. That poison and toxic waste takes the form of the fears and the doubts and insecurities that become the part of the human being's perception of reality. And once those fears, doubts, and insecurities are in that human perception of reality, the human being participates in reality from their perception of their inabilities as manifested through their fears. And they hide behind prides and other various things, but this is the real wheel going on. I mean, I'm crazy though. So I just made all this up. You don't know what I'm talking about. No, you don't. So in our evolution of being, as humans, a creator put us here. Now, however we look to creator, yeah, I just personally think creator just is. I don't think creator has a human form, right? I think ancestrally, we all agreed with this also. See, we're all the descendants of tribes. Every human being we're the descendant of a tribe. What happened to the Indians here, so to speak, all right, it just happened to the descendants of the tribes. It happened to the tribes of Europe and the descendants of the tribes of Europe for 2,000 years before it happened to us here. What happened to the black? And see, as this industrial perceptual reality emerged. So we were all treated, so ancestrally, we have a genetic memory, and in that genetic memory, we have one ancestral perceptual reality, and that is that this is a spiritual reality that we're in, and our responsibility. Life is about responsibility. I don't know about the abstractions of freedom. Life is about responsibility, and we had a responsibility to use the power of our intelligence clearly and coherently in order to maintain a balance. See, so ancestrally, we have this memory is still in there, but the civilizing thing makes it difficult to access. Can't get through the fear. So look, Creator gave us, so we have life, but in this human form that we have, life is only half the gift. Intelligence is the other part of the gift. Creator gave us intelligence, all right, so that we could participate in this life, and with intelligence came responsibility, because we have the form and the way to do that we can do. Now, our relationship to the reality of power is in our intelligence. We manifest our reality through how we perceive reality through the use of our intelligence. So if we've been imprinted to be ashamed and fearful, then we're going to manifest that type of reality, because that's how we're using the power of our intelligence. The power of our intelligence. See, we've been programmed to believe, all right, that money and authority, that money and guns and military and political systems are power, but they're not. What they are is they're access to authority, but they're not power. But if we believe that is power, then we never understand that our own relationship to power as human beings. It's just not going to happen. All right, now have you ever had a situation where you feel powerless? And while you're having this little situation of feeling powerless, how bad can you make yourself feel? And how does that affect the people around you? Well, see, that's power. It's power. It's like ironic. The worse you can make yourself feel and the people around you feel, the more power you have. But we've been programmed to believe that's not power. So whatever's going on in our reality, it's not an issue whether we have any power or not. You know, we really need to have an understanding with ourselves about that. It's not an issue of whether we have any power or not. The reality is how we use the power that we have. How we use the power that we have, the power of our intelligence.